Hello everybody, this is Casey with Lead Tech, and today I want to talk to you about my new program, Quick Decline Ultimate. Now this is meant to be a demo video, so I'm just going to kind of run through the video real quick. But if you just purchase this program, you can scroll to the end, and there'll be some quick setup instructions that you can kind of go through. We do have an instructional video that's going to come out later on, but right now let's just do a quick demo video, show you the features and what it's capable of. So I'm going to start the program up real quick. When you download the program, you're actually going to get a bunch of files. You'll get the Excel front end, and you'll get the Access code. That's where all the code is. Access runs the code and uses Excel as a front end. It makes it a very nice environment for people like engineers that are always in Excel and all their data is in Excel. It just makes everything easier. So let's go ahead and fire up the program. Now when you open the program, you're going to get a little pop-up who it's activated to. Just say OK. Now if you work for a company, it will be important for you to set up your database with this program, your well database and your production database. If you don't work for a company and you don't have a well database or a production database, don't worry about this. Hit cancel. You'll get a little note saying, you know what, you're not going to be able to dynamically retrieve data from your from your company's wells if you don't set up the database. But in this case, we don't care because we're at home, we don't have a database here. So it's totally normal to just say cancel and hit OK. And we're going to use this without the dynamic database feature. So this is Quick Decline Ultimate. This is the first page. Kind of gives you, this page serves as a lot. This is where you can enter in your decline parameters, you change the chart. This is where you do the auto curve fit. You save your declines. It tells you your EUR for gas, for oil, your remaining reserves for gas, oil, and all your decline parameters. You're going to have your gas curve, your oil curve, gas curve, oil curve. So you can kind of read off, here's your actual production for gas, actual production for oil. So you kind of get the idea of how that is set up. And then over here, this is where you can store and save the completion information. How many stages was it fracked and things like that. So again, this is meant to be a quick demo video, so I'm just going to kind of dig into it. Now, what Quick Decline is, it's a professional decline and economics package. This is the full-featured economics decline package that you'd see from big companies like Landmark and PhD Win, who charge thousands of dollars for the program. This is meant to compete directly with those. The big difference is this is aimed at people who can't afford the other stuff. Literally, they're charging thousands of dollars. This program is $100. It's meant for royalty owners that they just want to track their production and try and estimate royalty payments each month in the future. It's made for garage petroleum engineers that are kind of doing stuff on their own, but they just don't want to have to pay that upfront cost for PhD Win or something that's really expensive. Also, any people that work for banks that analyze stuff, mineral investigators, really anybody who needs to know which well is better than which well, who's making better economics, things like that. And of course, the biggest thing is estimating your royalty checks in the future. So this first page, basically, you can type in your parameters, fit everything, save your wells. The second page, this is where you actually can drag the curve around. And as you can see, if you hold down the shift button while you're dragging, it moves the curve up and down. If you hold the control key while dragging, it changes the decline. If you hold Alt, it changes the B factor. If you hold Shift and Alt, it moves it from left to right. Or you can, if you don't hold any of these things, it just moves the curve around. So this is the curve fit page. This is your economics page. This is where you can plug in your parameters. It's pulling the production from the actual production in the curve that you built, and it spits out a bunch of decline parameters. You're going to get your internal rate of return, your payout, your discounted payout, your net present value to investment, in your net present values on a 10% discount rate that you can change. This little group of data, this is your net present value at different discount rates. In most oil companies, they use 10%, so you can see, this wasn't a very good project. Here's your economic reserves. With an economic cutoff, it tells you your EUR for gas, oil, NGLs. This is the big economic output. This is where you can do a lot of stuff. Right now I'm telling the economics, hey, I want to see 20 years worth of output, and I want to see it in 365-day intervals. So basically, show me 20 years of output with 1 year's worth of data. So this is year 1, year 2, year 3. You can change that to say, you know what, show me 20 years of output, but I want to see it in monthly, which is 30 days. So you can just hit that, boom. Now you've got it monthly, and that's really useful for people like royalty owners who want to see their monthly check and how much it's going to be. So I'm going to put this back how we had it. Boom. Okay. So let's kind of dig in a little bit and just to kind of go over some features and how you use this. This program is definitely meant to be a complement to Texas Production Query. Texas Production Query is the other Elite Tech tool that kind of queries Texas production for wells in Texas. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some data that we can kind of analyze with quick decline. So let's open up Texas Production Query. You'll kind of recognize it from this page. I'm going to jump into the well index. I'm going to go, I want to see some Eagleford wells. Let's go Eagleford, enter. Now I'm going to pick on an operator. Let's look at Marathon. Boom, there's all the Marathon's Eagleford wells. This is one I like. Just double click here. I think I already had it up. Boom. Alright, pulled it up. So this is one way to get data into quick decline. You're just going to copy your oil, go to quick decline, you go to the QA/QC data page, you paste it in by hitting this button. See how it converted. I hit the daily to monthly. See how it converted this monthly rates. So these are monthly volumes that have been converted to a daily rate. So they would have made whatever the monthly volume was divided by 30 days, and there's your, so this well is making 358 barrels per day. So to get that back into monthly volumes, you have to hit daily to monthly. And then that was oil, so I'm going to hit the oil button. See how it's green? That means oil. So boom, we just sucked in the oil data. Now let's do the same thing for gas. I'm going to hit daily to monthly. Now I'm going to suck in gas, which is red. Boom, we just sucked it in. If you looked at the first page, we get this now. I'm going to go to 0 days because it's a new curve. I'm going to blow it up a little bit. Okay, so here we have our data for our, it looks like, Marathon Hace or whatever you call it, 1H. So the first thing I want to do, I'm gonna actually grab this name here because I want to go ahead and save this well to my database. If it's a fresh new well and you just created it from scratch, you're gonna want to hit this decline save as button, and you'll get this little menu. It's monthly data. I'm gonna just say this is a Eagleford, and you could type whatever you want. This just helps me. Marathon. So boom, we saved the well. Now you can see it popped up. It's actually in our database, which is, this is the raw database. You'll probably never work in here, but this is where everything's stored. But you can see we've got it saved now. So now let's try and get a match. And really, the easiest way is that when you have nice data that has a peak like this and has a decline, the easiest way is just to hit this auto button and see how this has a peak and a decline. But for demonstration purposes, I want to actually show you how to use the FIT page. So let's get this B factor right first. Eagleford is usually anywhere from 0.75 to 1. I'm just gonna be optimistic and put a 1 in here. And I've also made this cheat sheet over here that you can see, just to kind of help people out, you know, that are not really reservoir engineers and don't really know what the correct B factor is. And by the way, a B factor, that's just the curviness of your hyperbolic curve. So this program actually starts with a hyperbolic or harmonic curve and then switches over to an exponential at some d min. And this d min is 4%. So as your curve curls up and hits 4%, it switches over to exponential. So I've got the B factor in there. Let's go to the FIT page, and I'm going to hit oil. And like I said, if you don't hold down any buttons, you just kind of, it drags it around in any direction. What I've found is I kind of like to control which direction that I drag it. So I'm gonna hold right now. I'm gonna hold Shift and Alt, and that'll make it drag from left to right, and it's kind of locked down to being dragged to left to right. So I'm gonna start it right there, which looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna hold Control, which changes the decline. See how the curve starts declining down? And holding Control, and it's moving, and there. Okay, so that's a pretty good match. Now I'm going to do the same thing for gas. I'm going to hold Shift to move it down. Oh, forgot to switch modes. I'm going to put that back where it was. Hit the gas button, hold Shift, scroll down. Uh-oh. We have our dampening factor for gas turned up a little high. Let's go back. Okay, now I'm going to hold Control. Alright, something like that looks pretty good actually. So once you get a fit in the curve fit page, and also the cool thing, it shows you, you know, we're on gas mode right now. It shows you your EUR, remaining reserves, your decline, your IP that you have it, and it changes as you move it. And then the same thing for oil, shows you all that stuff as you move it around. So what you're actually going to want to do is once you get a fit, you're going to want to start it at the end. And the reason you do that is because when you go to the economic page, it's going to actually accept the actual production for the time period that there's no curve. And then once there's a curve, it'll start sucking in the curve instead of the actual data. So if you put it on the end, it'll perform economics on the actual data and then on the curve itself. So we started in, let's go ahead and save this to our, so it's saving it to this well, so that's good. And if we go to the database, you can see where'd it go? Here it is. It saved it, the decline, to the well itself, which is exactly what we wanted it to do. That way we can pull it up later. You can see it's a well on our well list that we can pull up later. So let's go ahead and go to the economics page, see how this well did. Let's see, it's a Eagleford well, so the field expenses are going to be a little bit higher. Let's just say $3,000 a month. See how we've written table for the prices? That is actually this table, and you can put in anything you want for this, but basically right now it's the strip price. So it says for this month, you know, this is the price, next month this price, and you can drop in the strip here, or you can change this to years. You can change that to 365 and say this is year one, this is the price for year two. Right now I just have it on the monthly strip. This well probably cost $7.5 million to drill. Gas shrinkage is a little high there. Let's go back to 80%. The variable expenses look good. NRIs are okay. Everything else looks good. Okay, so this looks good. And as you can see, the internal rate of return for this well is 1%. MPV over 10. I mean, MPV 10 is minus 1.4 million. This is a bad project. You can see they are only going to get about 130,000 barrels of oil, 44 million MCF of gas. Million SCF of gas. You can look. It's just an all-around bad project. And without this tool, you wouldn't be able to know that. you really got to dig into the data, fit the curve, run the economics to realize, you know what, they may have drilled a well in Wilson County, but it's a bad well, so I'm going to kind of stay out of Wilson County. That's kind of how this works. Now, kind of the opposite, if you're a landowner, what you can do is kind of trick this program into thinking you're a landowner. Put your working interest at basically 0. I put in a really small number. And then you can go to your NRI, and for your NRI, you can type in your royalty interest. So if you own basically 25% of this well, type in 25%. And then let's change it. Let's see, I want to see a 5-year forecast, if you will, or a 5-year look. Actually, let's go 10 years. And I want to do monthly. Okay, so there we go. So this line that says undiscounted cash flow, this is probably the line you want to look at if you're a royalty owner. And I believe, how many months of data do we have? I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 months of data. So these are your old checks. Here going forward are going to be your new checks. And so you can see it's really useful because you can say, okay, I want to know how much money I'm going to get from this well 3 years from now, so I can kind of plan around that. It's really useful because, I mean, without having this, landowners really don't know how quickly or maybe how not quickly that their royalty checks are going to go down or go up or what's going to happen. So that's pretty useful. Now, if you're a royalty owner that has more than one well on your property, you're just gonna want to go to Texas Production Query, pull up all the wells, and literally add up your production streams to get one production stream, and then come back to quick decline, dump that, add it up in production stream, and fit it with a curve, and do the exact same thing that we did here. Now, one other thing about royalty owners, if you have a operator that's doing some shady stuff like charging you shipping and handling fees, which is basically MTP fees, sometimes that shows up as a price adjustment on your royalty check. You can model that in here. I mean, they shouldn't be charging you in the first place, so you get yourself a lawyer. But secondly, you can model that in here by simply zeroing out all the other expenses. I mean, I can do that right now if you want. So just to speed things up, I'm going to turn it off, put in a bunch of zeros. Let's go 0, and then here's my yeah, they would do it on oil too. So here's my MTP fees. Let's just say it's 30 cents for the oil and 30 cents for the gas. I'm going to turn this back on, and boom, there we go. Okay, now you can see that the royalty checks have come down slightly because they're taking, well, excuse me, they actually haven't, because I haven't put our working interest in there. So your working interest would be 25%. Okay. Now, you can see that they've come down slightly because we're getting charged MTP fees. And again, if that's happening, it's not good, but you can model it, so have no fear. Okay, so that's how you kind of pull in data from Texas Production Query and do a full analysis on it. I want to show you quickly how to pull in some more data. Well, first of all, if you have wells saved in your database, you can simply pull them down from your menu and hit pull from, and boom, it just pulled the data that you had saved. Pulls your old curve. You can go straight to economics, and in the economics page you can pull the actual economic parameters that you had saved to that well, and you can see, yeah, this well is very economic and everything looks really good. So that's how you kind of pull a well that you had saved in your database. Let's look at other stuff. Specifically, let's look at big name brand programs like DI Desktop. I'm going to pick on Marathon again. Here's Marathon's Eagleford wells. I'm just going to click on a well. I'm going to go to the data. Ooh, look, here we have tabular data. Simply click on it, copy it, go to quick decline. I'm going to paste the monthlies, filter the oil, go back, grab the gas, come here, paste the gas, filter the gas, and boom, there we go. We've got it right here. Now this time, instead of going through the whole FIT procedure, I can see that I've got a nice peak and a decline. This is a good candidate to do an auto fit. So we're Eagleford. I'm going to go be a 1 or 0.7, somewhere right in there. And then I'm actually going to do an auto fit on the oil. Now what's going to happen is it's going to kind of take over the program. It's going to do its magic and try and fit the data as best it can. Depending on your data set, it can be really good or it can be really bad. It just depends on your data set. You can see that the curvature is very good, but it kind of missed the endpoint here, so I'm going to just fix that a little bit. Holding down shift, I'm going to move it down just a hair. There we go. Now, I'm going to do the same thing for gas. It's going to go find the highest month, move your curves to the highest month. It's going to move the decline until it finds a decline that fits the data the best. And boom, it's going to move the oil back to where it was. And you can see it did a good job, except for it missed the endpoint. So I'm just going to drag it down a hair. And there we go. Perfect fit. Okay. Now, once it gets fit, let's go ahead and create this well. It's the Sage unit number 1. I'm going to hit the Save As button. It's a monthly data. This is a Marathon Eagleford save. So basically, we've gone, we looked for a well, we pulled in the data, we fit the curve, and now let's do the economics on it. Let's bump this up a little bit. And there you have it. We've done full economics on it, and this well is a whole lot better than their Wilson County well. And this is in, where is this? This is in, oh, of course, it's in Carnes Trough, one of the best places in the Eagleford. And as you can see, the NPV10s are through the roof. The internal rate of return says 0 because it's so high that it errored out, so it's really over 100%. Your payout's less than half a year. This is just an all-around really good well. Look at the oil. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Very good stuff. So that's how you kind of pull data from DI Desktop. Another thing you can do with some of these big programs is you can export the data in certain, and I'm just going to choose the default HPDI Deskport. I'm going to drop it on my desktop. Just drop it in here, give it a name, and we'll download the data real quick. Now you can come in here and go to import HPDI. I'm going to say import the file, import the file. It's on my desktop, called it Steve. Here it is. Boom, it pulled it in. Now I'm going to hit this append to database. If you don't hit that, it'll clear your database. I'm going to hit import. It'll run its magic real quick, find all the wells, pull in the data, and do its stuff, and boom, here we go. They're all in our database. So if we come here, we've got a whole new smattering of wells. It's going to be all of Marathon's wells. You could pull them up, any one you want. I don't know anything about this well, but I'm going to pull it up. It's only got a couple months of data, so that's how that works. Now, we also do the exact same thing for IHS. We can pull in 98C files from IHS. It works the exact same way. Like I said, if your company has like an Aries database or an inertia database, tow database, any of the big name databases, you can literally set just change the database to point to your database, and you'll get a list of wells that you can click on, and when you click on them, it adds it to your database. And if you pull up a well that is in those databases, instead of just reading off this static data that you've saved, it will actually go to your company's database, pull up the actual production from your servers, and do that every time that you pull it up. So it's really, really cool. I use that at work. In fact, I mean, this whole tool was created by me for my work. I needed something that was faster than Aries, faster than PhDWin, something that was more useful, where I can drop in data from HPDI really quickly. Aries and whatnot is just not quick enough to get data in there and get a final number. You know, I needed to get to the economics really quickly after I dumped the data in and got a curve fit. And I just wasn't getting that with the other programs. So that's kind of why this program was created. And it's turned out to be incredibly useful. You can use it for a lot of different things. So with that, this is going to end this demo. Again, I'm going to have more detailed instructional videos later. So right now what I want to do is I want to close this and walk through how to set these programs up if you haven't done it for the first time. So again, when you download the program, you'll get this zip file, and when you extract the zip file, you'll get these files. It actually does have the setup instructions in there, but I'm just going to walk through it. It might be a little bit easier and helpful if you see it in action. Again, you've got the working code, encrypted code, and access as an access document. You've got the front end, the Excel document, as the GUI. So when you're first setting this up, the first thing you want to do is go to Access. So I'm going to go to Microsoft Office, Access, and in the top left corner there's going to be either a file or an orb, depending on if you have Office 2007 or Office 2010. Hit the Options button, go to the Trust Center, go to Trust Center Settings, and just go to the macro settings and hit Enable. And then you're done. Close that, you're done. Do the same thing for Microsoft Excel. Go to File, Options, Trust Center Settings, Macro, Enable. And another thing you have to do in here is for this protected view, you have to unclick some of these so you don't get the crazy protected view that's really annoying. Hit OK. Now, the only other thing you have to do with this new quick decline program is you need to initialize Solver on your computer. And the way you do that is you go to File, Options, Add-ins, Go, make sure Solver's checked, hit OK, and then set up a quick solver problem. It's going to be really easy. Put a 1 here, a 2 here, and over here type in equals this cell plus this cell. Hit enter. Okay. Now I'm going to put my cursor right here. I'm going to go to data. I'm going to go to solver. And I'm going to say set that cell to a value of 55 by changing this cell. Enter. Hit solve. Hit OK. Done. You've initialized Solver in Excel. You never have to do that again. Close that. Now the next time you open Quick Decline, everything will be ready for you to go. Again, the first time you open it, you're going to get a message box that says, you know, you need to activate it. Here's your machine code. Click on this link, type in your information, and basically just run through the activation. If you've already activated it, you're going to get this little pop-up. It has your name here. If this is not you, obviously you're using the program illegally, which is you can just go get your own copy from Lead Tech apps. But this should be you. So you'll see this every time you open it. And again, If you have a database, set it up here. If not, hit cancel. You'll get the little message, hit OK, boom. Okay, so we've just bought this program, we're in, we've activated it, and we're good to go. So that kind of concludes this demo. Again, we're going to have an instructional video set up later. Thank you for your time. This is Casey Broom with Lead Tech. Enjoy your new app. And thanks. Bye.